Welcome back, everybody, to Colorbar. Betsy Davis, CMO of Sandy Alexander, here with Kim Opdyke.
Hello, Betsy. How you doing?
Amazing.
Amazing. We have Dave.
We have Dave.
I'm so excited for today's episode and having Dave come back and join us.
Dave Rosendahl with MindFire, back on, actually in studio.
In studio, in person.
Last time I was a little box here for you or something?
You are just a talking head.
Okay, there we go. It's much better to be here in person.
It feels great to have you here in person. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How was 2025?
Crazy. Yeah, it was a busy year and just a lot going on in business and in life in general.
Yes.
I'm sure that it was like that for you as well, but a good year overall, and I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to 2026?
That's a loaded question. Well, I mean, on the business side, I think that what I'm most excited about is what we're here to talk about today.
Same.
You know, the future of direct mail, the future of direct marketing, how really it's becoming data-driven and something that people can actually understand now. Mm-hmm. I know you had Francis on a little while ago, and he was talking about the origins of the industry and how things happened with Lambda and Indigo and all of that. And really, a lot of this data-driven stuff that we're talking about today started back then, but is really only now becoming something that people can understand. And that's what excites me.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I'm most excited about, we get to make the official announcement.
Wow.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We teased it a little bit at the last conversation, but MindFire and Sandy Alexander, official partnership.
Yep. We had our partnership dinner last night.
We did. We did.
And what'd you get? What did the waiter bring for you?
What? Oh my Lord. I got a rose.
Oh.
This lady got a rose.
Yep.
I
didn't get anything.
No rose for you, Dave?
No, nothing.
Nothing?
Partnership. That's what I got. Yeah.
Partnership.
Yeah.
And a great steak.
True.
But he even sprinkled it with a little club soda, so it looked like it was fresh off the vine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have a date later?
No,
she went right to bed. She's right across from me. I assure you, she went right to bed.
I did. Nobody worry. I'm not doing anything I shouldn't. But yeah, I got a rose at dinner last night. Yes, and the partnership.
Very excited and very honored, grateful. I mean, we've known Sandy Alexander and the great folks there for a long time. We worked together in the past, but now being able to work with you and your team is really exciting. So looking forward to it. Yeah,
really excited about it. We also had a strategy meeting yesterday.
We did.
And so we're going to talk about some of those things that we talked about yesterday. And you talked about the future of direct mail. And I've been out on the streets already as the year's kicked off, talking to customers and having some engagements and already, teasing everybody about this new technology that we're going to demonstrate today.
Yeah.
But the first question, I think people have said it maybe 3 times. So is this the future of direct mail?
Yep.
And that's my answer.
Yeah, really, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Because as you think about what direct mail is supposed to do, we were talking earlier about it starting the conversation.
Yep.
We look at direct mail as a conversation. And for a long time, it's been one way, right? You print on it, you write on the paper, you send it out.
And there you go.
And for most brands and for most printers and marketing services companies, that's the end of it.
It kind of stops there as opposed
you lose
to
visibility. Yeah.
Starting a conversation. It just kind of starts and stops all at one point historically. And now with technology and what you all are going to demonstrate.
It literally is having a conversation.
It's literally having a conversation, which is really so cool.
Well, let's
and I'm not even a male geek, but I may be one by the end of this conversation. But I was I was like, well, it's what I said. I said, I'm here to learn. All right, I'm all in, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, I was even continuing to learn yesterday, but so let's dive in.
Okay.
Yep.
So DMAI.
Yep.
That engagement.
Yep.
That conversation. You're going to actually demonstrate it.
Yeah, I can
today. So talk a little bit about it and tee it up for us.
Yeah. So I think here at home, or as you're watching at home, you can see this piece. We'll put it on the screen, I'm sure. This is a direct mail piece, and it represents a direct mail piece that anybody would get at their house, their home, at their business. And as we were talking about earlier, this is the initial point of conversation. This is the initial entry point into engaging that consumer, engaging the respondent, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we've all been doing for many, many years. Now, when we send out the mail piece, there's a reason why we send it out. That's to get a response back from the individual who's receiving that piece. Nobody's printing just to print. I mean, as much as we would like, right? There's always a marketing reason. There's always a sales reason behind it. And that's what we at MindFire, in partnership with Sandy, are now doing, is taking this piece and extending it to begin that conversation with the consumer. There's the personalized QR code. There's the Pearl. There's the trackable phone number. All of those things are now elements that you track and can make visible to the folks who are doing the mail?
That's been the biggest issue, is when we're talking to marketers and why they've pulled back on direct mail, is because they haven't had those trackers. They haven't had those points to be able to demonstrate people are responding to it.
Right.
And it is driving engagement,
Right.
and it's driving dollars and cents.
Yep.
And so now we can really prove that this is working.
Yeah. And so to orchestrate that in order to achieve the objective.
Yes.
And so the easiest way for me to show what I'm describing here is, think about when we typically send this mail piece, we drop it into the mailbox as the printer or as the brand sending the mail, and we kind of lose visibility from that point. What happens is, as this piece makes its way through USPS, it's getting scanned an average of about 7 times with the barcode that's here. You all have done that for many years, right? But now we can start to use the scan of that barcode to activate marketing messages, an email, a text message, a ringless voicemail, again, reinforcing the brand as it makes its way to the consumer. When the consumer ultimately grabs that piece, what they're able to do now, I'm going to hold this up to the camera here, and I think we're going to have a close-up here. This personalized QR code, what does this do, Betsy?
No, I'm not even going to say anything. I want people to see it in real life.
So I'm going to scan the QR code, and the moment I scan the QR code, it initiates the conversation. Watch. So I scanned the personalized QR code, and one of the things, maybe the only thing that was good about COVID or the pandemic, is that people are now accustomed to scanning QR codes. We were talking about this yesterday. Before the pandemic, we had about 30% of the response coming in through a QR code, 70% from somebody typing in their personalized URL. Now that's pretty much the other way.
Right.
So as soon as I scan that personalized QR code, as the recipient of that piece, what happens is that now I can begin to have a conversation with that piece. So I scan it, I pick up my phone, open up my camera app to scan it, and...
Oh, hello? Is this Dave?
Yes, it is. How are you?
Oh, yay. Hi, Dave. How goes it?
It goes pretty well. I just got this mail piece about this cool house here in Tennessee. Tell me more about it.
Oh, sure thing. The house you're talking about is at 530 Carysbrook Cove in Memphis, Tennessee. It's a single-story home in a quiet cove and has a lot of charm. It's got 5 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms.
You know what? I got a kid that's a swimmer. He's in junior guards right now. Does it have a pool by any chance?
Yes, it does. This place has a lovely in-ground pool, perfect for a swimmer or just for relaxing.
And I often work at home. Sorry to interrupt. That's how I am, I often work at home. Is there a spot for my home office by chance?
Oh, for sure. So the house has a den and also a formal living room that could be a great spot for a home office. It's got a quiet vibe, so you can definitely get some work done there. Does that sound like it might suit your needs?
Yeah, it does. And I'm here with my friend Kim and Betsy, and we'd love to come out and take a look. How would we do that?
All right, let's make this easy. How about we set up a visit for Saturday morning around 10? If that works for you, I'll send a calendar invite so it's all set.
Ladies, does that work for you?
Yeah. Done. I'm moving to Memphis.
Okay, we're moving to Memphis. Thank you so much for your time.
That's awesome. Moving to Memphis sounds like an exciting plan. If you have any more questions or need any help along the way, just let me know. Have a great day.
You're the best. Thank you.
Yes, please.
So you get the idea. What's happening there is the same variable data that we're using to print this direct mail piece, to personalize it to me, personalize it to you, and to you. That is underlying this voice conversation that I just had with this direct mail piece. So this is the continuation of the conversation.
Right.
The pieces in my hands, I'm interested in following up on the property, on the loan, on the automobile that's being promoted, on the college, undergraduate degree, whatever it is that's being promoted on that mail piece. I can now ask the questions that I have and actually take that next step in the conversation.
Like I said,
I'm a little in awe, so you're going to have to take this, Betsy, because I'm like, that is way too cool. Well,
and here's one of the things that I love about it. When Dave first reached out to me about, partnering and doing this, I immediately responded. It was like, yes, what do we need to do? But one of the reasons I love it, one, it now really has an interaction from a direct mail perspective with the recipient. But the thing that I also love about it is that exchange that Dave just had with it is being captured. And we can report that back to the brands and to the marketers managing that campaign. and it gives them intelligence into what are people asking, what are the questions, how do we take those questions and now reframe how we're going to market, what our FAQs are, how we're teeing up our customer service teams. Like the levels that you can take this are really, really exciting. And now, as I've been having the conversations, seeing people say, well, how can we already use the AI bots that we use already on our websites or other digital engagements? Yes.
Yep.
So they can already take what that learned language is from their current bots and incorporate that into these engagements and their API integrations and all these things to have it truly be orchestrated alongside their other digital platforms.
Well, and it's kind of intentional and personal as well, because you just went and had a whole conversation. So I would think whatever the next step was, or the next, conversation that came up, is based on the interaction that you've already had. So it is very much of a personal conversation as opposed to just one way.
Right.
We're just going to talk to you. Now we're talking to each other. So the next time either you reach out or I reach out to you, it is personal and it is tailored and orchestrated to you and what you're looking for, and using that as the trigger to make that happen.
Now, some of the large brands that we are working with and that we will start engaging together are going to ask the question, so, hey, that was a very natural conversation. How do we put a boundary around that conversation so that it doesn't go off and say something that's off brand, right?
Right.
And so I think one of the things that's important in that conversation is that we can set guardrails. Think of them as boundaries within which that conversational agent knows that he or she should not go beyond. And so if I asked an inappropriate question, believe me, people do.
Oh, I'm
sure they do.
And if I do something like that, it will gently redirect me back to, I'm here to help you about the property, and that's not a question that I can answer. So those boundaries for the large brands that have a concern about how it's going to behave with people, those are things that all can be controlled.
But that's cool too, just being able to have brand consistency, but it's a personalized, it's still personal, and you're still getting that engagement, like you're saying, but in the confines of, this is how I want my brand to be represented in the marketplace.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, and the topic of security comes up a lot as well. We've talked about using this for healthcare. We've talked about using it, again, you're getting very personal. And so being able to set those guardrails from a security perspective when it comes to data are also things that we can incorporate into this to give everybody that safe space to use the technology. So it's we are going to use it. We'll talk a little bit more about our own campaign that we're doing. We're using the MindFire platform to help us execute this campaign. But we at Sandy are creating our own DM AI piece, our own AI bot, to let people learn more about this technology, to learn more about Sandy. And so they'll be able to, the brands that we work with will actually get to experience this in real life.
So if somebody wants to experience that, how do they do that?
I need your physical address. Email
Send her your home address, okay?
Send me your home address if you're not working from your offices. Email us at hello@sandyalexander.com. Give me your email address, your physical address. We'll incorporate you into this direct mail campaign. It's going to be so educational. We're going to have some fun actually putting some DM in your mailboxes that you get to see all of this in real life. And then to be able to get to work with us on and executing it yourselves. And if we can do it, you can do it. And we're going to have a great case study behind our results, and it's going to be a really impactful and educational process for us.
Let me ask you ladies a question. Do either of you speak another language?
I speak poor French.
Poor French?
Poor French.
No hablo.
Just English and print, right?
English
and the language of print. So the reason I ask that is because this agent is not only conversant in English, but if I were to switch to another language, it would follow along with me.
Love that.
So as you're thinking about if you run direct mail for a large brand, if you're doing lead generation, if you're creating leads for your organization and you have maybe a call center where people are calling in off of the mail piece traditionally, right? This is now a way that we can begin to have conversations with those people in the language of their choice, with the agent following along. We've got conversations that we've heard where the person starts in English, moves to another language, goes back to English, and then goes to yet a third language.
That would
agent's
be more
following along.
advanced than my French.
Yeah. You've got English, French, you need one more.
Well, and I love this because, like, I think about the travel and hospitality clients that we work with that have guests joining them from all over the world.
Sure.
And so they have to be able to do that. So that is, this is great. I'm going to tuck that away for some of my future conversations that I have coming up. And one thing that I'm kind of putting you on the spot, this is me still learning, which I love.
Hey, I'm comfortable on the
good.
spot.
Okay, good. So we've had this conversation.
Yep.
One of the things that has really struck a chord with some of the people I've talked to is reducing the customer call center volume and finding some savings there, but also maybe even shortening the conversation because some of it's already been teed up. If I were to call a call center after having this engagement, will the call center know what I've already asked?
Yes. So what typically happens?
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, what typically happens is the campaign, the omni-channel campaign that underlies all of this or powers all of this, is taking all of this data, including the conversation, all of the digital body language that I'm giving off is stuff that's stored and then can be pushed into Salesforce or whatever CRM call center application that's being used so that that person who's picking up the phone and making that outbound call has all of that available to them.
That's great.
Yep.
This is really, really good. Again, why people were asking, is this the future of direct mail?
Yeah.
And yes.
It really is. And, you know, for years, omni-channel has been around. You know, we were talking about multi-channel earlier.
Multi-channel and my new buzzword, which is the connected channel. Connected channel. Yep.
This has been around for a while.
Yeah.
But what this does, what I'm finding in conversations with brands and with other companies out there, and I think you're starting to see the same, is that this really puts a nice bow around the idea of how we make direct mail interactive. Because we've been able to scan a personalized QR code. We've been able to type in a personalized URL for many years, right? We've been leading that for many years. But actually being able to talk to the mail now does something in the minds of the people that we're talking to that's like, I get it.
I get it.
I get it, yeah.
Yep. One of the things in our strategy session yesterday, I loved a term that one of our teammates used, which was, instead of omni-channel or that, you know, those buzzwords, was surround sound.
Sure.
And I love that. Just one.
Yes, there is sound.
There is sound.
Yep.
You call it kind of the halo moment. And I think this is exactly, I mean, it's what MindFire has been doing for a long time. But this just seems to even elevate it to the next level and use the technology that everybody can't stop talking about. So
when I say halo, what I mean by that specifically is, as this is the piece that's starting the conversation, if I open up my phone and I go to Facebook, if I go to Instagram, I can subtly see a brand impression from the same company behind this piece, right? If I use my Informed Delivery app, which is a free USPS service that allows me to see the mail that's coming to my house, I can open that up and I see an impression from that piece, right? I'm starting to get this set of impressions around me that's all creating awareness for this piece in advance of it hitting my mailbox, which means that I'm even more likely, the data show, I'm even more likely to then engage with that piece and now to have a conversation with it.
Yeah. One of the things that I just lit up about yesterday, whenever we were doing our working session, was the tracking component of what the MindFire platform brings to the table. And you mentioned a few of them just now, but I think a lot of the conversations have been, we moved away from direct mail. The C-suite had us move away because it costs too much and we can't prove attribution and we can't prove that people are engaging with it. And to see the dashboards that you guys, and I'm going to make you talk about it a little bit further.
You're going to make me?
I'm going to make you. I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you talk about what you love so much. But finally, for me to be able to go into a meeting and say, I can now show you how you can show your teams, your C-suite, that direct mail is driving an ROI. It can show you who's engaging. It can give you all of this data.
And it also
is so powerful.
Yeah, and it also shows that it's like one of the best ways to start a conversation. I mean, just with that technology alone, adding in that layer, you know, just from a marketing perspective and reaching their targeted audience. And I think regardless of what generation, you know, you fall within, I mean, that just can be as informative or as engaging as you need it to be. And I think it reaches like across platforms. And I think the fact that you can then tie that in with metrics, it's like, this is how you start a two-way conversation.
Well, you talk about different generations, right? So there's the generations that are receiving mail, but then there's also the generations that are responsible for marketing today, right? In the Fortune 1000s. And
that's a great point.
Yeah, and many of those folks have grown up with digital
yes.
marketing. And if you think about digital marketing, you have, your impressions, you have clicks, you have conversions, you have dwell time, you have all of these stats that makes the digital marketing very measurable from one perspective, right? And then when you think about direct mail, some of these younger marketers have never even considered direct mail.
They haven't been involved with it.
Well, they haven't been involved with it, and they also don't know that it can be measured in the same way that digital can. We've put it on equal footing with digital marketing. It can now be measured. You're talking about the dashboards, right? So obviously we know how many pieces were printed, how many pieces were mailed, but then what happens from there is typically lost. So if you think about the dashboards and the reports that we were looking at yesterday, we're tracking as it moves its way through USPS, all of those 7 scans. As it's about to hit the home, that scan can trigger an email to the recipient. And then as it gets into their hands, now we're tracking all of that interaction, right? The voice conversations, the scans to the QR. If they go to the corporate website behind the brand, we're tracking all of that too, even on the corporate website. And then where it really becomes interesting is tracking the attribution to revenue.
Yes.
So in this example here, it would be how many homes were sold, so that we know for every $1 of direct mail, we're generating $561 in revenue, or whatever the number might be.
Yes.
Pulling that into one place so that in real time, we know what's working and what's not, so that we can do more of what's working to drive the results that we're looking for.
Yeah. I mean, to be able to, well, here's the other thing I loved yesterday, is to be able to also break down the data into these different segments. You were talking about the generations and the data teams. Love some analytics.
Yeah.
Love some metrics.
We love some metrics.
We
Yes.
love some metrics. And so to be able to see the gender, the age, the zip code, all these, as long as it's in the data, so we kept coming back to yesterday, as long as those live in that database that you're giving us to work from, we can report against that.
Yeah. So it's similar if you do digital marketing, Facebook as an example, or Meta when you're in the ads manager, or LinkedIn, they're called breakdowns. And similarly here with direct mail, we have breakdowns. So we can do breakdown by gender, breakdown by zip code. We could do a breakdown by FICO score, any one of those attributes that we have in the mail file. Now we can look at and say, okay, which of those attributes or which combination of those attributes is driving what we're looking for?
Well, and then to have a dollar sign in one of those columns that you're getting, which was Dave's point about now putting a pixel on the website and being able to see the journey from the time they hit the website. Where did they go? Did they end up in the shopping cart and make a purchase? And to be able to say that direct mail piece drove this dollar value.
Here's what happens. Little secret. Sometimes people will get the direct mail. Yeah. Some people will get the direct mail. Hey, this is interesting. Put it down. And then they go to Google and they search for this, right? And then they go to the website and let's say they make a purchase. Google gets the credit for that attribute. They get the attribution, right?
That's right.
Sorry, digital teams, you get the attribution for that, whereas it was really the direct mail that initiated that interaction. And so without this kind of tracking, you would erroneously be giving credit to digital, where it's actually direct mail. And we're not saying one's better or worse than the other. We're just saying you got to understand what's happening in order to be able to drive more of what you want.
I mean, Kim and I talk about it all the time on Colorbar. I get my catalog from every eve. First thing I do is go to the website and start putting it. But it was the catalog that it reminded me to go shop. I don't need any reason to do that. But,
do you need a reason?
No, I do not. I usually find it on my own.
I don't need a reason or a reminder.
No, that was self-starter when I was shopping. Yes.
Self-starter.
Yes. Okay, so this is all great. Another big topic for us yesterday, coming back to the dollars and cents part of it, and why marketers have somewhat been led astray from using DM as a channel is postage. And postage rates. We are trying our damnedest to help alleviate that part of the conversation too. You've just recently spent some time in DC with the Postal Service. lots of incentives and opportunities for savings.
Yes.
And every cent counts whenever we're doing big DMs like this. So what's been interesting is how many brands aren't even aware that this is happening.
So many.
And then whenever we talk about, they're like, ooh, tell me, like,
Tell
they're
me
like, well, I
more.
don't even know what to do. I don't even know how to accomplish it.
Right.
That's when
Yep.
the Sandy and MindFires of the world can come into play.
Yep.
So share a little bit with the audience about what we have going on in 2026.
Sure. So I have to say direct mail is a game of pennies
Yes.
or fractions of a penny,
Yes.
you know?
Mhm.
And so
But they add up.
they do add up, right?
Mhm.
So every little bit that you can optimize or save, especially on postage, which is usually the vast majority of the spend there on the piece, is meaningful. And so USPS actually has a number of promotions, which are a little bit different than the incentives, but the promotions that will save anywhere between 5 to 12% on postage if those different mechanisms that they are motivating are used. And so it could be as simple as adding in informed delivery, what we talked about earlier, which is this free service that USPS offers that adds a digital impression of this into my email that
Mhm.
comes from USPS every day. They're doing things like that. Or this agent that I just showed you, that would qualify for a 5% discount on postage. And so you have to know about those things. If your printer or your marketing company is not telling you about those, you need to work with Sandy on that.
Hello.
Right?
Hello.
Because that's real money, 5 to 12%. And as you said, not only are most of the brands unaware of this,
Mhm.
but most of the printers that we talk to, their folks are afraid to go out and talk to people about them because they think, well, what is it? How do I do it? It's too much work. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Not realizing that there's 5 to 12% left on the table.
Right.
There is an incentive that gives a 30% credit on postage, again, that most people don't know about. So there's a lot out there. If you don't know, what some of these things are, talk to Sandy.
Yes, we and we can put it in the show notes of this, but it'll also be a big part of the campaign, the bulk campaign that we're rolling out. That's in motion as we speak. But sharing the calendar.
Yes.
We have all of the background data as to what it really means to take part in the tactical promotion.
Yeah.
The money growth incentive or mail growth incentive.
I like money growth. That's
I
a
like
good one.
money growth
Everybody,
too.
yeah.
USPS
change it to money growth.
Kim and I are always rebranding things. So
Yes,
money
yeah.
growth incentive.
Money growth sounds better.
But no, and we have experts on team that know how to implement this and make it happen. And again, the pennies add up really quickly.
Yeah.
And the thing that we've seen most of our customers do that do take advantage of it, it opens up their budget to reach more people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, you're saving money, but they're able to reinvest that back into their direct mail campaigns that drive revenue.
Or as we were talking about yesterday, this technology that we talked about, that has a cost, obviously, right?
This can pay for itself.
This can pay for it or more than pay for it.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing I would say, since I bleed postal blue, I really am a big supporter of USPS, is that they get a lot of heat, right?
Yes.
And we hear that in the industry, and certainly postage has gone up. There's no denying that. But really, the folks at USPS at headquarters in Washington are dedicated to helping us figure out how are we going to resolve this situation around postage and the solvency of the USPS. So all of these things that they're doing, like the postage promotion, the money growth incentive, mail growth incentive, these are all designed to help us as industry, but we have to do our part.
Yes.
We have to lean in. We have to educate customers through like what you're doing here in this forum.
Mm-hmm.
This is all helping all of us.
Yeah. We're going to be attending the National Postal Forum.
Yes.
That's coming up in May. And I already have been looking through the agenda and so much great education and other partners like Sandy, they're presenting. You guys will be there.
Yep.
So again, for any of you that want to learn more and just become a part of this great channel, National Postal Forum happening in May.
Yep.
We'll also be sharing information about that. But I think the education is such a huge part of it. And when Francis was on, we were talking about it's incumbent of us to be the evangelist and be out talking about it and be out showing just how impactful and powerful this channel is.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's also incumbent on us to make this technology as simple to understand as possible.
Yes.
Yes.
I have fallen victim to the expert's curse at times, right? Or we do in print where we're like talking speeds and feeds and people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to make more money. I want money growth, right?
Right.
And so we got to make it as simple as something that even Jack Glacken, as an example, you were talking about him last time, right?
Yes.
Jack, I love you, man. But something as simple that's something that Jack would understand,
Yes.
right? If we
well,
can
if
do
Jack
that,
can understand it, I could probably understand it.
exactly.
I don't know you, Jack, but I feel bonded to you, Jack, in this
Jack's
conversation.
going to send me an email. I know that's coming.
Yes, I'll get another text message.
Another text message.
Another
Yeah.
text early
Yeah.
in the morning from Jack. Yeah.
But I'm being serious.
Yes.
We have to.
Yeah.
We as an industry, we have to make this technology something that people can understand. And that's another reason why I'm so fired up about what we do at MindFire is we're pulling together these companies like BCC. We had Chris Lean on
Yes.
Yes.
on the show. XMPie, HP, Snailworks. These are all good people, great companies, but we've made life difficult for the market, for our customers, because our technologies don't play well together. We all use different language. And yet to do data-driven direct mail, you need all these technologies working together. Screen, HP, all of these technologies need to come together to make this happen.
Is that the orchestrated part?
That's another part of the orchestration. Is
Yeah.
we do see part of our mission as bringing together these folks that do data-driven direct mail or a piece of it and making them all work together in a better way. Yeah.
I don't know why this conversation just reminded me of a really relevant conversation that I had last week with a customer. And I said to them, the earlier you can get us involved,
The better off.
in your strategy, and as you're thinking of a campaign,
Yep.
please engage us,
Mhm.
because that's when we can start to implement these great tools that we've just talked about this morning, and these solutions
Yep.
that really elevate the piece.
Yeah.
If you're just sending me the art and the data,
Yeah.
sorry,
Too far down the pike at that
way
point.
too far down the pike.
Yeah.
And
Is it pike or pipe?
I don't know.
Okay,
I like
well,
pike.
pike,
I think
there
about
we
a
go.
turnpike. Do you guys have turnpike? Do you have turnpikes in
No.
California?
No.
Do you have turnpikes here?
Yes, we
I
have the
was just on
Florida.
one.
Yeah,
Yes.
with the Florida Turnpike.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Anyway,
Squirrel. Okay.
Yeah.
you're going down something.
Yeah.
But we do, in order to take advantage of this, we have to plan in advance. We have to be part of the strategy and part of the direction.
Yep.
And I think this time of year is great because, people are already planning for their back to school programs.
Right.
Even the holiday is already being thought about.
Yep.
Let's start doing the planning
Do
now,
it
because
now.
it really, it isn't too hard
Yeah, and I think
to do.
I think what that reinforces is that you were talking about the price of postage, right?
Yes.
So many printers, so many marketers are worried about the price of postage or the price of the piece. It's really not about that. It's about the purpose of the piece. What is this piece designed to do, right?
The
And so-
intention.
and start that conversation and drive sales, ultimately, money
right.
growth, right?
Money growth.
And so the earlier that you can be involved, that these creative minds can be involved in helping understand the purpose of the piece. Nobody's printing just to print. There's an objective there. There's a purpose. Then that's when these ideas can be woven into the construct of the campaign, of the architecture, of the strategy for that campaign. If you're just getting the print ready PDF, the artwork at the end, it's too far down the road at that point.
Yeah. And I think it kind of goes back to what you had mentioned a little bit earlier about the digital aspect of it and the print direct mail aspect of it no longer really being siloed, but how
Better together.
but what that intention and the strategy is for that campaign. So what does go out to trigger what, and what are we trying to solve for? What is, other than the money growth, what is, being very mindful and thoughtful. So those conversations usually happen way far, in advance, to your point. And that's really where the magic starts to happen is, at the beginning of the process. What's our intention?
Yep.
What are our touch points?
Yep.
What order do we want these in? So it's really understanding the best way to strategize, implement, and then have that piece be the first touch point, if it is, to trigger a conversation. And then where that conversation goes to using different technologies.
Very true. And I told you I was going to turn it around and ask you questions, right?
Yep.
Yes.
One of the things that makes Sandy unique in the market is that there are many, many printers out there who don't see it as their role or their place to have those conversations. They're thinking about print production, right? How do I get these pieces out in the mail as quickly as possible for the lowest cost? That is important,
Yes.
right? But in order to survive, in order to thrive in this industry, I believe printers have to do more. And I'm seeing Sandy embrace it. I'm curious, what's driving that?
Exactly what you just said. We have recognized that in order for us to be able to continue to thrive and grow, we have to adopt where our customers are. And we see everybody moving to that digital space. We were talking about the next generation, and we had an agency, a group of young talent from one of the agencies we worked with for years, come into our facility where the speeds and feeds happen, where the ink is meeting the paper.
Yep.
But we ended up having this really interesting conversation, and they were like, this is so cool.
Yep.
Because all we've ever done is a digital campaign.
Yep.
I've never even recognized. And so for me to sit and hear that from the people that are now buying print, I'm like, I have to be able to figure out how to speak their language.
Yep.
I have to be able to help them demonstrate to their C-suite that this is important, that it's driving revenue, that it's driving response, it's driving engagement. And in order to do that, we have to use technology to do it.
Yep.
And I say this all the time. I feel like now in my role, I talk more tech and data than I do CYMK.
Yeah.
And it's been like that for a while, but it's becoming even more prominent today.
But it is also, taking more of a consultative approach. You know, I mean, granted, we are printers, so obviously there's an ink on paper component that you're trying to sell. But having a consultative approach where you're really an extension of a marketing team, where you're brought in to be like, okay, if I can help understand the end, we can engineer the beginning. And what does that look like? And bringing those type of expertise at the beginning of the conversation as opposed to midway through.
Right.
So I think the further upstream you have those with, okay, what are we trying to solve for? I mean, in the menu space, you know, that I live in, it's always kind of like, what is the intention of this menu? That's the first question that we ask. So
that's like the purpose of the piece. What's the purpose of the menu?
What is the purpose? But that conversation happens, like in my world, like 8 months, 10 months before that menu may even get into a guest's hands. So it's those conversations of, how do we make this work smart? How do we have this piece, direct mail, and this conversation engage and deliver on what the brand is objective is with that individual consumer? And I think we started having a lot of those conversations with our partners as well as our clients to really help have a smart, successful campaign. Is really, you know, our job to help make that happen. And I think, you know, the sooner you're able to start having that conversation, the better off and the more success you have.
And I think, Kim, you keyed on something important here. I would imagine it's true in that part of the market as it is with direct mail, is that there's a hippo problem, what I call a hippo problem, the highest paid person's opinion.
Right.
So as they're looking at the menu design, or they're looking at the direct mail piece design, the highest paid person will sometimes go like this, and you know what? I think we got to go that way. And the rest of the room is like, yes, sir, or yes, ma'am. We got to do that because that person's making the bucks, right?
Right.
They may be completely wrong.
Yes.
We need to let the data drive the decision. Yeah. And God, we trust. All else bring data. Everyone else bring data, right?
Yes. And one other thing to touch on, and it's going to align with one of the things that you and I also have in our back pockets and planned, is that we've also heard from our customers frequently. We're in our own world, doing our own thing. Like, we're living this brand all day, every day. We need to lean on you guys to educate us.
Yep.
You're talking to other industries. You're talking to other brands.
Yep.
We need you to bring that intelligence to us. And so that's the other reason I think that we might feel different, is that our customers are asking us. Our customers are calling us and saying, can you build some technology to help us accomplish this, to help drive print? So those things happen all the time.
Yeah.
So why we've started Colorbar, why we have Glimpse, is for that educational and thought leadership piece for our customers. And we've been talking about having some webinars as part of the campaign, where we're bringing, you know, other experts, brands to the table to continue this conversation and continue to educate those that want to learn. And I think people now look to us for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's very commendable. And I'm not just blowing smoke when I tell you, like I told you last night at dinner, that what you're doing here, all of this is unique in our market, in print, right? And you making the investment, you leaning in, you leading the way with this thought leadership, this is what is going to continue to set Sandy apart. And it's not only good for your business, but it's also very helpful to the customers.
Yes.
The potential customers that are out there. If you continue to give this value, put this value out into the world, I think we're similarly aligned, and we believe that'll come back in spades.
Mr. 33,000 followers on LinkedIn. I felt like such a dweeb last night whenever he's showing me. But the MindFire team has always really leaned into the educational part of it too.
Yeah.
And so also trying to learn from what you guys have done such a great job of doing and continuing to do that.
Yeah, no, it is. It's important. I mean, I think, and everybody is very busy, right?
Yes,
there's a lot
absolutely.
of noise and distraction in the universe.
Mhm.
And you need to have, it's a team effort.
Partners. You need partners.
You need partners, and
Yep.
you need best practices, and you need to, have somebody that can bring that to you. And I think this platform, Glimpse, the webinars that you guys have been talking about is just a way to, it's like, it's not as hard as you think it is to pull this off. Like, if we can have a conversation and educate, and then you're there to help set them up, so you become a value resource and a partner.
And what's great about the webinars is people can ask questions in real time.
Right.
And if you do these webinars right, which I know you will, that kind of engagement with the community, the folks that are there, I mean, you should see the chats that we have in these webinars. I mean, their messages are flying left and right. People are asking questions. We bring in the right experts, and everybody is learning together. Not only does the audience learn, but also we learn.
We learn.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of us learn more than others.
Well, we can't wrap up today without also we talk about partnership.
Yep.
We talk about learning.
Yes.
D-Scoop.
Oh, yeah, D-Scoop.
D-Scoop is right around the corner. We're going to be together again in Denver in March.
Yes.
A couple of weeks from now. But I also think when you were talking about HP and Savalmo, and you rattled off like 4 or 5 partners, and we all are there together. And one of the things that we're doing at those events is having conversations like this.
Yep.
And what are our clients asking for? What are the brands asking for? And how do we push our technologies, whether those are presses or the back end, whatever it is, to deliver on what they need. And so it's a wonderful atmosphere for all of us to come together and brain dump and brain share. And so I'm excited.
Oh, I'm very excited. Yeah. I was there at the first D-Scoop. Were you there at the first D-Scoop?
I don't think so. Was I born?
Okay.
I'm teasing.
No.
I had to get that in there for some of my fellow D-Scoopers. I don't remember what the first D-Scoop was. I think it was maybe Dallas or Phoenix years ago. But I don't even know how old I was.
I was a child as well.
Yes, same.
And
yes.
And I just remember looking at folks like Francis McMahon that you had on, and like, these guys were like gods to me at that point. They walked on water, you know?
Yes.
And just to have an opportunity now to be able to call Francis a friend. Francis, are you okay with that?
Yes.
And these people who I've looked up to for so long, as they've led the way and created this industry that we all get to be a part of now, that kind of conversation and those kinds of friendships really are what we really lean into at D-Scoop. And if you haven't been to D-Scoop, you really should.
Well, and it's a humbling experience for me all the time. Like, to your point, I used to do the same thing and look up, and now we're on this.
People are looking at you.
We're on the panels, and we're leading conversations. And
I still don't know what I'm doing.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Learning every day. We like to call that learning every day.
That's true.
Yes, but I want to, again, before we go, I want to tee up. You have it on your shirt.
I do. MindFire. No, just kidding.
No. Something that is really important for a lot of us, and we talk about it a lot on Colorbar. Francis even talked about it, but our mental and health wellness. And you and some of our other friends that we call friends at D-Scoop have started Sheet for Brains.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that. And
I heard even the cameraman chuckle at that.
But we want to have my Sheet for Brains friends on Colorbar.
Okay.
I think it's a really great conversation and something people need to be more comfortable talking about. You have some things happening at D-Scoop. Francis is even joining you for that.
Yeah, he is.
So talk a little bit about that and tease up kind of one of our future episodes with you again.
Francis, now that we've said it publicly, you have to be there, okay?
Yes.
So yes, we started Sheet for Brains and intentionally picked that name because it gets the reaction like we just heard from behind the camera and the smile that you have on your face right now. And when we walk down the street with the shirts, or we walk through a hall or a plane, people ask us, what is that? And the goal is to normalize or to make more comfortable these conversations around what's happening up here. Because what I found and what John Bailey, Chris Min, Jessica DeCola, these are the other co-founders, sheet heads, if you will, as I lovingly refer to them as. The four of us, and me specifically, as I entered into this, would feel that so often at these shows, like let's say D-Scoop, that I would bump into somebody in the elevator or in the hall. How's it going? Oh, everything's great. Kids are good. Yeah, kids are awesome. How's business? Oh, never been. BS.
Bullshit.
Total. Yes. I don't know if you can cuss on the show.
You can say
Say it again.
Bullshit.
Bullshit, right?
Yep.
Total BS.
Yep.
Because if we're honest, sometimes our businesses are about to fall apart. We may be about to lose our job. We're going to lose our biggest customer. Maybe we've got problems at home. That's the real stuff. And for some of us, it's more than just those issues. It's also we have an illness. I'll speak for myself personally, having battled with depression. And I think what many in the industry, many in the world tend to do is look at that as something that's not to be talked about. There's a negative stigma around it. And we were talking in the car, it's like, I have asthma, right? I'm not ashamed to say I have asthma. I want to try to make the mental health topic as normal as talking about having asthma, breaking a leg, breaking your collarbone, those types of things.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to do. And we're starting within the print and graphic arts community, but this has legs throughout the rest of the industry. Normalizing that conversation, we bring in experts to talk about the different facets of mental health. Because as an owner, a business owner, an executive, if your people are giving you 8, 10, 12 hours a day, whatever they're giving you, but they're not well up here.
They're not really giving it to you. No.
Yeah. I think it's, we were saying in the car this morning that you all kind of really started the platform at D-Scoop last year. It was the first time I was really involved in it, and the room was full.
It was.
And the
and there were tears.
There were tears. The vulnerability. Francis talked about being vulnerable as a brand, being vulnerable as a leader.
Yeah.
And the vulnerability that was shown in that room.
Yep.
It's like to let the walls down. And it just humanizes all of us. And I think it makes us better as an industry. It makes us better people, it makes us better leaders, business owners. And so I commend you guys and thank you for having the courage to do it.
Well, John Bailey was the spark. You remember?
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Of course he was.
Johnny.
Love you.
2 years ago, I don't know if you remember, when he was passing the torch to David.
To David Bennett.
Right,
Yeah.
David Bennett. Hey, Dave. On stage, he spoke from the heart. And now I know John a lot better than I did then. I was thinking, man, this guy must have prepared these 3 stories. I don't know if you remember, he told 3 stories. I'm like, he must have rehearsed that. He must have.
He and I talked about that moment many times.
Yeah, I think he made it up as he was walking on stage.
Yes,
right? That's how John is. He just lives his life authentically that way. But those 3 stories, those touched me because it was real. It was true. And that's what started this whole conversation is, John, we need more of that. We need more of this.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all wrestling with something. And everything that we're doing in Sheet for Brains, our goal, our mission is just reaching the one. If we just make one person's life better, or we save one life, I've lost 2 family members to suicide. It's very real for me. If we just reach the one, all of this will have been worth it.
It's amazing. Thank you. We've got Chris Min joining us on the next episode of Colorbar, who's also part of the Sheet for Brains, a sheet head as well.
He's a sheet head too.
So I'm looking forward to hearing more from you guys in March, and we'll definitely have the team on all the sheet heads on Colorbar.
It'll be a sheet fest.
It'll be a sheet fest.
Yeah.
I like it.
There's just so many places.
There's ways we can take this. We can take this. Well, thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you both.
No, thank you. This is
again what I said at the very top of one of the things I'm the most excited about for 2026 is our partnership.
Yes.
The campaign that we're doing, the education that we're going to do, everything that we can share with our clients to make them better and make their brand successful is super exciting. I'm excited to be a part of it with you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
It's been a blast.
Yes.
Okay, again, reach out. Hello at Sandy Alexander. Send us your email, your address. We'll make you a part of this campaign. We'll get you invited to all of our educational sessions and more to come on Colorbar this year. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye.